An RC-135W rivet joint left Kadena and traced a ghost route toward Hainan. Not sightseeing, hunting signals. Near Yulin Naval Base, where China's newest carrier Fujian is building its punch, the jets skimmed the edge of contested waters while staying on the US side of lawful and routine. So what did it pick up? And did Chinese fighters shadow it? In a theater where one misread ping can escalate fast, we break down the flight path, the sensors, and the stakes, why this close-in recon is a calculated risk Washington keeps taking, and how it pressures Beijing's expanding carrier ambitions. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. A US jet drew a quiet arc near Hainan because timing pays. When a fleet adds a new edge, the first clean listen matters more than a flyby photo. The crew wasn't looking for a fight. They were picking through noise for patterns that last. RC-135W rivet joint is built for that hunt. Think of it as a shop vac for the spectrum, pulling in radar modes, voice nets, control links, and stray test pulses.
Violating China's terror airspace. Leave now. Leave immediately.
You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Donald Trump has already withdrawn security guarantees for America's allies in Europe.
So we do a lot of ship tracking. We try to keep up with where China is deploying. In particular, China is deploying its maritime militia in China.
Its racks don't care about paint or flags. They care about how a switch flips, how a beam sweeps, how a burst repeats. Commanders get that as a living map: who is talking, what is watching, and which systems woke up when the jet drifted past the edge. The stakes stacked higher near Yulin Naval Base. China's carrier Fujian is coming online with electromagnetic launch tech. New hardware means fresh signatures. Both sides want the first read because the first read seeds every later move: target folders, jamming plans, spoofing scripts. Miss the window and you chase the baseline after it hardens. The ghost route is a play that hides in plain sight. Southwest out of Kadena, through the gap between Taiwan and the Philippines, then a long run that rhymes with China's south coast. It stays just far enough to call it lawful and routine, yet near enough to fill hard drives. You don't need to cross a line to hear who's working a deck net or who is spinning a search set. What did they want in that noise? Element first, search radars from destroyer screens, horizon sets, and any new air defense arrays ashore that flicker when a carrier task group drills. Comment next, data links that run deck ops, line-of-sight nets for aircraft handling, and routing calls that spike when you test heavy kit. If Fujian's electromagnetic launch system coughed even a brief test tone, the aircraft would tease it apart by rhythm, by sidebands, by timing marks that act like a fingerprint. That's why this type spooks Beijing more than fighters do. Fighters show mettle and attitude. Rivet joint drains secrets. It turns waveforms into tools. Once you map a radar's habits, its dwell time, its frequency hop, its side lobes, you hand your jammers and decoys a set of levers. Later, when it matters, you can bend that picture, blind a slice of it, or lure it off target.
And you've also got some Chinese maritime militia coming down from the north to add to this first line of defense that's formed here.
So it's like a busy military highway in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and I would say, up until a couple years ago, this would have been much, much quieter. This is all the Philippines' legal exclusive economic zone.
Sea Light has charted a massive build-up since the summer of 2023.
The path also nods to the first island chain logic. That corridor touches the seams without sitting on top of them. It keeps ears on the choke points that decide whether a carrier can break out into the South China Sea at speed, under cover, and with its escorts in a clean bubble. If your net hears the openings breathe, you can plan to close them when the push comes. Did PLAAF or PLANAF fighters shadow the pass? No public confirmation. That silence is part of the tactic. Shadowing raises the chance of a close intercept, radio calls, and headlines, plus it risks forcing more Chinese emitters to light up, which feeds the rivet joint. Ignoring it cedes signal space, giving the jet a longer, cleaner take. Either move has a cost. Either move writes data. The likely prize wasn't visual. It was a library. Carrier-adjacent emissions near Fujian's home waters, tied to escort rhythms and shore batteries, linked to launch tests and deck drills. You turn that into a playbook entry. When these 3 clicks show up, expect these 3 actions next. That's how options get built. Quietly.
This is Chinese Naval Warship 552.
That records and publicizes Chinese ship movements in the disputed areas.
The second line of defense has already formed back here. I mean, if China decides they're not getting through, they're not getting through.
On days that don't make news. Why risk that flank now? Because windows open when a new system transitions from lab to fleet habit. Early runs are messy. Crews talk more. Engineers tweak. Safety layers add extra calls. Signals leak. Threading the corridor at that moment says Washington wanted the messy version, not the polished parade set later. Meanwhile, that course line also telegraphed restraint and reach. It stayed outside the line of direct confrontation while proving the sensors could harvest what mattered without a chest-beating escort. That's a message to planners, not audiences. Your kit can listen from here. Your adversary knows it. Your timing hits when his guard shifts. So the arc near Hainan wasn't a stunt. It was a scalpel pass aimed at a single question: what did Fujian and her guardians sound like at home, under light stress, with new gear breathing? The answer fits into future jammers, decoys, and tasking orders. And if the jet threads that edge again, watch what lights up on the coast and what goes quiet mid-sentence. Close-in recon near Fujian isn't noise. It's shaping fires. Raw emissions become options, jamming plans, decoys, timing cues. That's deterrence by intel in practice, showing you can see, hear, and preempt without crossing a line. The stakes rise as both sides crowd a flashpoint where, as warned, one miscalculation could turn surveillance into confrontation. What would you do? Pull back to lower risk or keep probing to stay ahead? Comment your choice below. If you want the tactical breakdowns that cut through the fog, subscribe. Next time a rivet joint traces that edge, ask what new signal China just switched on, and who learned faster.